Welcome to the Movies Watch Before You Die podcast. I am your host, Dylan, along with my cousin and co-host.
Gab.
And today we are talking about a movie that I have nominated as a movie to watch before you die. One that I believe should be added to the pantheon of films we have selected. Should I? If I feel like I can't follow up what I just said with the title of this movie.
Dylan has not slept much, and listener, you should know it is 8:06 a.m. on a Sunday. So this is really foreign territory for us.
If Ian and Steve are listening, I blame them.
Dylan, how much sleep did you get last night?
I don't know, like 3.5 hours.
Okay, so we're running on fumes here. And I just sneezed. Thank you. Okay, we're doing great. I'm still in my pajamas. Are you still in your pajamas?
No, I'm dressed and ready to rock and roll.
Oh, holy shit. All right, wow. I did brush my teeth though, so everybody should know that. And I have a cup of coffee with me. So anyway, we need to discuss the fact that this is a 50% of our Christmas episodes. This is technically a Christmas episode.
Yes, this along with the next episode, which I feel like we might have, we obviously mentioned before that you wanted to do it, but I don't think we explicitly said that we were doing it. So
no,
we will talk about that.
Yeah. But anyway, so go ahead.
Okay, so now that we've gotten far enough, bless you. Now that we've gotten far enough away from me describing the pantheon of movies before you die, I'm going to talk about now the 2015 classic and a movie I love that has now become a Christmas tradition for me, A Christmas Horror Story.
A Christmas tradition for you, a Jew.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to have Christmas traditions. Society is shaped around this holiday.
That is very true. You know what? It's funny. I was trying to explain that to some people the other day where like, yeah, of course I have a Christmas tree. Like, of course I got presents on Christmas. Of course. Now, in fairness, my dad is Catholic. So it was like we did like Christmas with his family and then Hanukkah and stuff like that with you guys, with my mom's family. And like, that was kind of just always how it was. But it's like, you're hard pressed to find a family of Jewish people that don't have a Christmas tree, at least Reform Jews, right? Who don't have a Christmas tree and like give each other presents on December 25th.
Yeah, as someone who both my parents were Jewish, we did for at least the first 10 years of my life, I want to say, do obviously Hanukkah, but we also would have a Christmas tree and get presents on Christmas.
Yeah, Gog and Pop had a Christmas tree too growing up. And we would have Hanukkah at their house. And also there was a Christmas tree. And the Hanukkah presents
every year,
no question.
Which we did nothing with, but it was nice. It was.
I still have all of them.
Covered. Bullshit, really?
I swear, in my parents' basement, I really do, all of them. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But the Hanukkah presents were put underneath the Christmas tree, and then they were given out as if it were Christmas, but it was like the 12th, and we were all just sitting around. We lit the menorah, and then all sat around the Christmas tree.
Do you know the Hebrew to get your present on Hanukkah?
Oh boy, I know the Hanukkah prayer, but I don't think I know. Is that what you're talking about? The Hanukkah prayer? Yeah, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushani b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Yeah, of course I do.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
It's the only thing that I'm sure it's the only thing you know. It's the only thing I know because I get a present at the end of that.
Right, I know that. I know a couple of Yiddish words, but that's a totally different thing.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only prayer that I know. But although there are a lot of prayers that start that way, that start with Baruch atah Adonai, and I'm always
starts
like,
with Baruch atah Adonai because that's like
right.
in the name of God or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm always like, oh, I know this, and then they start doing something else, and I'm like, oh, it's not Hanukkah.
It's like when you hear the start of the song and you think you're ready to go in, and then the lyrics are different. You're like, oh, I look like such a dumbass right now.
Yes, yeah. Oh boy,
we are out of it. All right. So, Gab, what is A Christmas Horror Story about?
What's this all been about? What am I working toward?
You think you know everything about me, don't you?
I dive at your bottom. I bloody well ought to.
I've been dreading this moment. So, A Christmas Horror Story is about a town that is afflicted by a Christmas curse.
Okay. Oh, that's all you're going with. Okay.
That's all I'm going with.
I respect it.
Thank you.
Right.
How close am I?
I don't think you're that close, but they were just slightly more descriptive. I like what you did.
Thank you.
It makes it more about the town, which I don't think it's really about the town, but Bedford Falls, was that the name of the town? What's the name of the town? Bailey Down.
Yeah.
Bedford Falls is like the other name for a reason.
What's Bailey Downs? Like what if you listener, if you're out there and you live in a town that's called something like that, Bailey Downs. When I was in high school, the orchestra teacher's name was Mrs. Downs. And so I feel like she probably had a kid named Bailey and their name was Bailey Downs, but I've never heard of a town being called something Downs.
Well, I feel like I've heard of that, but it's probably only in movies and TV shows. But Bailey Downs in this movie is explicitly a reference to something else, but I'll get to that in the facts.
Oh, Jesus. Did this go over my head?
No, I don't think I think it was more of like a deep cut reference for people who are fans of a certain thing and for the people who worked on the movie.
Okay. Okay, good.
So let's get to the IMDb plot summary.
Okay.
Which says interwoven stories that take place on Christmas Eve as told by one festive radio host. A family brings home more than a Christmas tree. The student documentary becomes a living nightmare. A Christmas spirit terrorizes, and Santa slays evil.
Huh. Okay.
There is one tagline, but I believe that is just because this is not like a theatrically released movie. This was straight to DVD, so this was probably just on the box of the DVD. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting.
You don't seem anxious. You don't seem excited about it. I'm not getting the Christmas spirit for this tagline.
Okay.
There it is. The tagline is, "You better watch out."
Lazy. I'm sorry.
I don't think it is lazy. What do you want? What do you want it to be? I think that's clever enough because it's Christmassy and it works for horror.
Okay. That doesn't make it, just because it works doesn't mean it's not lazy.
All right. Well,
anyway.
So we're at an impasse. Okay. Little backstory for how I discovered this movie, and it has somewhat become a Christmas tradition of mine because for the past, I want to say like 3 or 4 years, Giselle and I have ended up watching a lot of like Christmas horror movies on Christmas instead of actual Christmas movies.
Mm-hmm. And there are many of them?
Oh, there is an entire subgenre of Christmas movies. Like there could be a horror Hallmark channel, I feel like. But most of them are garbage. And I think there's a fun in the garbage aspect of it. Like there's the Ginger Dead Man, Santa Sleigh, Jack Frost, which is not the nice Michael Keaton one that you think, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, my mom calls me and she's like, Bill, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this movie. And I'm like, what is it? And she tells me a Christmas Horror Story, and I'm like, okay, sure, I'll watch it. And I totally disregard it.
Yeah.
The next time I happen to be over and seeing my mom, she tells me, she's like, I've had this saved so I can show it to someone. And she plays a clip of the movie for me, and we are going to get straight into spoilers for this straight to DVD film. It's a clip of what is by far the best story of the 4 in this anthology, where Santa is fighting zombie elves, and it's one of the zombie elves starting to turn, and Mrs. Claus is offering, I believe his name is Jingle, a cookie, and Jingle doesn't want a cookie because he is starting to turn. And Santa and Mrs. Claus are confused, and she goes, but Jingle, you always want one of my cookies. And Jingle hits her with, I said no, you reindeer fucking snow whore. And you know what? At that moment, I was like, I gotta watch this.
I think my favorite line from any of the zombie elves was, and this one really kind of made me gasp. Do you want to guess what it is?
Do I want to guess what it is?
He one of the elves called somebody. I think he might have said it to Santa, but I don't remember. It could have been Mrs. Claus.
Does it have to do with red cheeks?
No, he calls him, her, them a Christmas cunt. And I gasped, Dylan.
Yeah, if you don't say that you love this movie, because that is fucking great.
I gasped. And it takes a lot to make me go, oh, whoa, boy. And it did.
I love that. I love every single thing an elf says, because clearly it's like, I can picture the guy writing this, and he was just like, this is fucking fun. Like, I'm having fun. You know what I mean? The other anthology stories are pretty... If it was just the 3, and the evil Santa thing isn't in here, it feels so basic.
Yeah.
Like, the other 3 are very much you know, it sounds mean, but
Well,
like vending machine
pause.
horror.
Where first of all, it sounds mean to whom? That's number one.
To the
Number
people.
two, well, the people aren't listening. Number two, I feel as though we've gotten into opinion time, and what we need to be doing is giving a little bit more context around this movie. So why don't you pump the brakes, put it in reverse, and give a little bit more context?
I drop my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Thank
That was good.
you. I've been working on it.
All right. So for those who have never watched an anthology before, which feels like a dumb thing to say, but I recently mentioned the word mockumentary out around a couple youngins, and they were like, "What is that?"
What?
Yes, I don't even remember how it came up, but I said the word mockumentary, and they're like, "What's that?"
It seems like it's pretty, like the context is there. No?
I guess you would think so, but it was not in the situation, and I felt very
Okay.
old.
Well, that's gross.
So an anthology is a set of unrelated stories. Sometimes they have a wraparound that slightly connects these things. You think of the Twilight Zone movie or Creep Show or obviously Christmas Horror Story. I'm trying to think of something that's not a horror version of this right now.
An anthology.
What's that one? Love Actually. Isn't that an anthology?
Yeah.
Nailed it, Dylan. You
Well,
thought
all of those. But like the Valentine's Day,
yeah, anything where you have stories that aren't it's multiple stories in one movie. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking up some examples. They're all horror. There, a lot of them are horrors. Sin City.
Yes, totally works. We have an anthology. Yeah, I don't think we need more examples. That's sufficient
Okay.
examples. We
Monty
proved
Python's
that we
The
know
Meaning
what an
of Life.
anthology is.
Yeah.
What was that
Okay.
last one?
Monty Python, The Meaning of Life.
Oh, I've actually never seen it.
Yeah, me neither, but it's an anthology. Although, wouldn't you no. All right, anyway, keep going.
Wouldn't you what?
I was gonna say, wouldn't you say that like the Holy Grail is an anthology? But no, it's one story.
It's got more of an over it's got two like it has random subplots, but it has
Yeah.
more of an overarching story.
Yeah.
Now, this anthology does have a wraparound, which is the Bailey Downs local radio host, Dangerous Dan, who is
William Shatner.
Yes, played by William Shatner, who is sort of talking about the events of the night as they go on, basically just giving setup where he's talking about the Christmas season, the Christmas spirit, and it's sort of just a way to cut between things, and he'll sort of talk about something transitionally. It's not super important what he's saying, but it adds context, and you do find that all these stories do have semblances of connections. I don't know if you picked that up on your first watch, because having seen this now more times than I've seen great films.
Oh god.
Like I've seen this way more times than I've seen Schindler's List. I feel bad about, but like it's way more fun to watch Santa
have you
fight zombie
seen
elves.
Schindler's List?
Yeah.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, I mean it's a great movie.
I've never seen it.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for like a good time watch.
Yeah, also, isn't it like 4 hours long?
I want to say it's like 3 hours long, which now is not that long, I feel like, in terms of movies. I feel like that's a common thing now.
Yeah, it's a commitment though. The only thing I know about Schindler's List is the Seinfeld episode.
Yes, where they were in the theater making out during Schindler's List.
Making out during Schindler's List. I understand what Schindler's List is about. What year is that movie from? And who directed it?
Steven Spielberg directed it.
Okay, that's what I thought. It feels like a Citizen Kane movie, but it's like from the 90s, right?
Yeah, I want to say like 97-ish.
If Jerry Seinfeld were watching it in the movie theaters, it's definitely not from the 40s.
93.
93. I'm older than we are older than Schindler's List, but it feels like a movie that came from, the Citizen Kane era.
I feel like that's just because you've never seen it. Like,
yeah.
Is it the black and white aspect, I guess?
Oh, I didn't even know it was in black.
Yes, it's entirely in black and white, except for there are like flashes or individual characters who will have color to them at times. Actually, is it just there's a little girl who we see in red I think that might be it.
Is Meryl Streep in this film, or is that only Sophie's Choice, which is a similar?
Meryl Streep is not in A Christmas Horror Story.
Ha 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 ha.
She's on
Is
the
she in
Schindler's
Schindler's
List,
List? Okay. Who is?
And Beth Davids from Matilda.
Oh, shut up.
Bam.
Wow. Way to tie it all together.
But also Ralph Fiennes, Liam Neeson, Ben Kingsley.
Academy Award winning?
Yes.
His first?
Whose?
Spielberg. I almost said Schindler.
Schindler did not win an Academy Award for Schindler's List. He sadly he had it snatched out from underneath him.
Oh, sad.
I don't know if Spielberg wins for that. Let me check really quick. He won an Academy Award for Best Picture and for Best Director. Okay, he did.
Okay, yeah.
It was very much a passion project. This has nothing to do with the Christmas Horror Story, but I know, like, obviously he's very passionate about Judaism, and the reason Megan Fox was fired from the Transformers movies, I don't know if you remember this, is because she compared Michael Bay to Hitler on the set of the movies.
No.
And Steven Spielberg, who produced the Transformers movies, I'm sure Scotty's going to send me an email where he's like, I got the deets on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it, and she was promptly gone.
Wow. So she compared him to Hitler. Why? Because he was kind of mean to her?
Yeah, I think he's kind of known for being a bit of a dick.
And Steven Spielberg was like, that's not okay.
Yes.
I compare people to Hitler, not regularly, but I definitely do it. Do you think I would be fired?
Has called somebody a Hitler of some kind at some point, because
of course
it's a good comparison for literally the most evil person in humanity's existence.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Like, would I be fired from a Steven Spielberg? Have I made it impossible for me to star in a Steven Spielberg film at this point? I think I may have.
It was long impossible before your Hitler comments. I'm sure Spielberg saw other comments and went, no, Gab, no.
Yeah, probably. All right. Well, I'll hang my hat up for that one. But anyway, so A Christmas Horror Story.
Gab had that script for Schindler's List too. It's Schindler. And she said,
Schindler. Schindler's Note.
Schindler's List. This time it's longer.
I'm gonna put that on my resume. Was at the top of Schindler's List.
Wow, you were almost in Schindler's List. I was almost in Schindler's List too. It feels like a very important distinction.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a wraparound with Dangerous Dan, and we have 4 individual stories.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the Changeling story, which is interesting, but only because of like a couple moments. But this family decides to go get a Christmas tree. They sort of trespass on land to get the Christmas tree, and their child
they chop it down themselves.
Yes. Which is what Gab does regularly as her workout, carrying trees to the Siberian forest. But
of course,
she chops down this tree. I'm not just using female pronouns because it's Gab, but the tree is chopped down. The child is lost for a minute, and when they get the kid back, they're like, he seems a little off, seems a little strange. Turns out, there's going to be super spoilers. We already said that. Turns out the child's a changeling. It's not their kid anymore. In the next one, it is.
Are we just going to proceed as if the word changeling is common and everyone knows what that means?
Is that just because I watched a lot of horror stuff?
Yeah, can you? So basically, it's an alien type thing in the kid's body.
Alien, they are a mythical creature. It's an important distinction, Gab.
Okay, make it quickly, please.
Reindeer fucking snow whore. I'm so glad I can say that now and you understand that. But
yeah, I get it.
So a changeling is a mythical creature that can take on the appearance of another person and is basically just trying to sort of slither its way into, being taken care of, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of cute when you think about it. They just want to be adopted. They're just trying to find their forever home.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so next.
Okay. The next one is these 3 kids who are a year after a grisly event took place in the basement of their school. They are going back there for like their senior film thesis or some school project to document what happened and get B-roll because they can't use the actual police tape that they have access to. Which seems like a big commitment for that, but
Yeah.
I digress. The third one, you have the scummiest family ever. And they are going on a trip to see their aunt. And through a series of events, they end up being attacked by Krampus.
Yeah.
And the
Krampus.
last one,
Recently invented character or truly a German staple?
I believe truly a German staple, but recently gaining traction in the rest of the world or in the rest of pop culture.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do feel like that's maybe the past 10 years where it's like, oh yeah, Krampus, that's a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the very last one, we see Santa in the North Pole fighting the zombie elves.
Yeah. Okay. Now you may grace us with your opinion.
Opinion time proper.
In this critic's opinion,
That's just like your opinion, man.
Well, I have a right to my opinion, and my opinion is you have no right to your opinion.
So, like I said, the only one of these that I feel is exceptional is Santa and the zombie elves. So I guess I'll start by talking about the more unexceptional first.
Yeah.
I will say what I do think makes the unexceptional ones more interesting is the way that they do connect. It is an anthology. You can watch any one of these on their own, but when you watch the entirety of the movie, it is interesting that, like, oh, the cop who we see was investigating the crime at the school the year before is the father of the kid who gets turned into the changeling. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Or that the daughter from the scummy family who's getting chased by Krampus is the boyfriend of one of the kids who's investigating, is the girlfriend of one of the kids who's investigating in the school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like I was just waiting to be like, it sucks and I hate you. Why'd you do
No,
this to me?
No. I'm just listening. Please continue.
Okay. I'm trying to think what's the worst one of these.
Okay, so far and away, the worst one is the Krampus.
With the family?
Yeah.
The acting is really bad from I feel bad like attacking anyone, but like the dad in that, you're like, you're bad.
Yeah.
I feel like the daughter's a little better.
I hesitate to attack, not that we're attacking, but I hesitate to comment on anybody's acting because the material is just so bad. Like at some point, it's like not your fault.
I think that's fair too. Yeah. And I think that's sometimes, again, a staple of anthologies that you're going to have hopefully some good, but you're probably going to get some less good in there too. I can't think of any anthology that is all bangers. Maybe we'll do Creepshow on here one day. I think that's on my list, and I love that movie, and I think most of those are great. But to me, that's like one of the better ones ever made.
Have you seen like the recent thread that's going around about Love Actually?
I've never even seen Love Actually, so no.
Oh, that might be a fun one to do, although it didn't really age all that well. And it's like kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that fun.
Yeah, but anyway.
The only thing I know about it through pop culture is like him holding the signs in front of her door. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of like, I'm leaving my wife of 30 years for this person that I met 10 minutes ago that doesn't speak the same language as me. You know what I mean? Like, it's very like, oh.
So you just want some strange.
Yeah. It's very like, I guess this is romantic in a very soul crushing way. Or like that guy who's holding up the signs is professing his love to his best friend's wife. And it's like, they don't get together in the end. He just like lets her know that he's in love with her. And it's very like, oh God.
See, that's one of those things that is romantic in a movie, and it warps people's minds because it's romantic in a movie because it's a big gesture of somebody trying to win somebody over, when what's more romantic in reality is thinking about that couple that's been together for 30 years, prior to getting some strange, and the fact that they have spent 30 years together and working on a relationship and maintaining that in hopefully a healthy way. And I think that's a much more romantic thing, but that's not a movie.
Dylan, you're so mature. So mature.
Thank you.
What a husband, everyone.
It's like
Husband of the year.
Thank you. Oh my God, I didn't expect this award. Thank you.
How long have you and Giselle been together? I know how long you've been married. How long have you been together?
12 years.
Damn.
But I've known her since I was like 16, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was I saying though? But there was recently I saw like I guess it was a meme where it was like somebody on Twitter was like, there should be like a Christian value show where at the end of every episode the family's sitting around in prayer at the dinner table discussing the events of the day, and then they do a psalm. And it was like, first of all, there's already all the Christian media you could hope for.
Yeah.
Like that's totally a thing already, probably. But second of all, that sounds like the most boring show in the world.
Honestly.
Like, that sounds like a news roundtable, but worse. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
How did I get here? Where was I?
So we were talking about the anthologies,
Yes.
and we were talking about Krampus, the less than fantastic acting in that.
I will say, to give some credit here, Krampus looks great.
Yeah. A lot of things in this movie look great.
Yeah, you can
A
tell
lot
that
of
there are
things
certain
don't.
things they put the money towards.
Yeah, Krampus looks really good. It's a little predictable, and I don't know to what degree it's supposed to be, but like the kid breaks the little Krampus doll, and everyone's like, "Oh," and it's like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna get it," you know?
Well, I do like at the end. Well, I do like there's a random line. They're worried about, the son breaks this little Krampus statue, and I'm gonna come back to this, but the implication, I guess, is that Krampus was freed by the breaking of the statue. At some point, members of the family start getting picked off, and the son gets picked off, and like the parents at one point are like, I can't believe it took our little boy. He was so sweet and wonderful. And they're like, the sister's like, newsflash, assholes. He's been murdering our pets for years. He's like serial killer in training.
That was so crazy. And the sister's just casually like, I came in and he had the cat in a plastic bag. And I was like, we didn't need this. We didn't need this. We could tell he was an asshole. I didn't need this.
Well, it goes more towards the reason why Krampus is like, fuck you guys in particular. I do appreciate that they weren't like, no, let's show footage of this kid doing these things.
Well, yeah. But
also, they
I
probably
almost
just couldn't
think,
afford that on this like shoestring budget.
yeah. But also just like, you know how it is. Show me, don't tell me. And if you're going to tell me, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's move on. The story of the kids in the school is all about this girl who it was like an old Catholic school, and one of the girls gets pregnant, but it's like a Jesus pregnancy thing where she doesn't actually have sex with anybody, she just like becomes pregnant, right?
Well, it's a corruption of the Immaculate Conception, which is like instead of this beautiful thing, it's like horrific because the father is then promptly murdered, and it's based on the story of this girl who died during an abortion, and so she's like haunting the school.
Yeah.
That's also a slightly weaker one, and you could tell because it's not the most compelling story, and you can tell that these younger actors are doing the best with it that they can, and I think they do a solid enough job. But there's a great moment by the end of it for me. But go on. I feel like I'm interrupting your opinion.
I was just gonna say the haunting. So they get locked in, of course. They're locked in the basement and they can't get out. And so it's scary, it's creepy. This is like where it all happened. And there is a scene where the female reporter, because it's a girl and two guys, she becomes possessed by the ghost of the girl who died during the abortion and attempts to have sex with one of the kids. He doesn't let her, so she kills him and then has sex with the other guy in what is, without doubt or question, the most hard to watch sex scene I've ever seen in any movie ever.
Now, why? Because I feel like there's such a thing recently of like, why is there sex scenes in movies ever? Which feels... Obviously, there is a thing of sex scenes that are gratuitous, but there are plenty of movies where sex scenes are necessary or have importance in them or
100%
are totally without gratuitousness and are meaningful to the characters and the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously.
I'm not anti-sex scene. Let's get one thing clear. Although I'll say this, I'm anti-sex scene when you're watching a movie with your parents. I totally agree. It's tough.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I'll never forget seeing in the theater with my mom, Zack and remake a porno, which obviously, I should have seen that coming, but
yeah.
It's
a great movie though. It's on my list.
I do enjoy that movie as well.
Yeah.
Why did you find it so awkward?
Well, I think it was just supposed to be awkward because she's obviously like they haven't explicitly told us that she is possessed, but we're supposed to understand that. So
Yeah.
she has no expression on her face, and it's very like she just kind of like straddles him, and neither one of them really like take off their clothes, and it's just like
yes, he still has his jeans on, which it's like this huge dick is getting eviscerated by his
yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying, and it's like and like he's just kind of like and she's just expressionless, and it's like and there was a point where I was like, are they just dry humping? Like I'm just so confused.
I think the only reason I like it is because you get a great moment at the end, which they have fulfilled the prophecy now where like the demon baby can be born.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is not a great one. This is probably the third place out of the 4. But you get this moment where she tries to seduce the other guy. He's like, I have a girlfriend. We shouldn't do this. And then she's like, fuck you. You're dead. And then we get to her trying to seduce the other kid. And he's like, I don't have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? He's like, I mean, yeah, I'm cold and locked in a school basement, but why not? Okay. And the funny thing is, too, it's coming to these shots of like, it's supposed to be a nativity scene. Like they have the statues for them in the basement.
Yeah.
But these are clearly just mannequins that are like drawn onto to look like it. And it looks hilarious. But they finish. And then you can see that there's a moment where she like snaps back to reality out of her possession. And she starts looking at him like, what did you do to me? And you see a look on his face like, wait a fucking second here. He literally says the words in this manner, you fucked me. And it just cracks me up every time because he's like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Again, it goes exactly how you think it would after that.
Yeah.
Although, were you surprised that I guess Molly, that's the female reporter's name, that she sort of just gets out of there pretty easy and free?
I don't remember. How did they get out?
The ghost appears and is like, chicks before dicks, am I right? And strings up Ben, I want to say his name is.
Yeah.
And just like the kids the year prior, turns his head like all the way around as he's like crucified to the wall. Which again, kind of feel bad for Ben. He sort of didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything wrong. Yeah.
No, he thought this was very consensual. He thought he did everything right.
Yeah.
And then the doors that were locked, the ghost is just like, all right, you're free to go. Go have my baby. Like, I guess that's sort of just what it is. And Molly's like, this is gonna be a weird story to tell this kid someday. But we don't get that follow up.
Yeah. So Molly just like exits as a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something. I have a couple of friends that are pregnant, newly pregnant, or in the process of trying to get pregnant, and it's not as easy as they'd like you to believe.
Well, I think in this situation, I think the ghost helps with the fertility. I don't know how that works exactly, but somehow.
Yeah, maybe. But it is interesting. We spend our teenage years so petrified of like looking at someone too long and getting pregnant. And then you become an adult and you're like, actually, this is like not easy.
Isn't it an interesting thing though that societally we're like, yeah, you know what? We're going to try and have a baby. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to start raw dogging her. Like,
yeah.
Really what
and you
means.
tell people too, like my friend Dana is nobody listening to this knows Dana is pregnant. She's been pregnant for a while, and they just haven't like put it on Instagram or anything yet. So yeah, it's been a couple of years. No, they just found out the gender, so she's like at that. I don't know what stage that is, but anyway, I've known for a long time, and she was like, the weirdest part was that we told my parents that we were going to start trying, and now every time I see my mom, she's like, "So how's it going?" And it's like, ugh.
He's been dropping loads, so
yeah. So you doing it regularly? And it's like, oh god.
There was one on my butt the other day, so that was a mistake.
Not as easy as you would think. And my friend Nikki is a well, she's an anesthesiologist, but she was saying she delivers babies. Well, that's not true. She does epidurals. We got there. She does epidurals. So she's around all the labor delivery, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I stopped taking my birth control because everyone our age has major fertility problems. So it's fine. We're all fucked. And I was like, is that true? She said, yeah. She was like, everyone around the ages of like 30 to 33, like all these people we went to high school with and shit, they can't get pregnant no matter what they do. And I'm like, okay, cool.
So does she mean everyone in your high school or everyone 30 to 33 in general?
I don't know. I mean, she's only she works at Stony Brook Hospital, I think. Which
I'm
is
like, is it that your high school was by like a radioactive swamp, or is it like cell phones have been in all of our pockets? We're doomed.
well, you know what happened to me with my ovarian cyst, right?
Yeah.
So I have this dermoid cyst, which is a cyst that grows that has like hair and teeth and nails and shit like that. It's disgusting. It's not a baby. You were never pregnant. It just like that tissue exists in your ovaries. So when it overgrows, that's what happens. And they had to remove it. It was gigantic. It like started to rupture in the middle of the night. Corey took me to the hospital, whatever. Nikki and Kristen grew up next door to me. Nikki grew up 4 houses down. They both had them too.
Something in the
All
water.
3 of us.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? What are the chances? All 3 of us had the exact same cyst.
And now all of your cysts are hanging out.
Yeah. And none of us can get pregnant.
Oh God, that's not a fun ending to that gap.
Isn't that crazy? Anyway, yeah, not as easy as they make it look, but here she is. She had sex one time with a little bit of a demon possession, and now she's having a demon baby. Good for her.
I know more people should use demon fertility treatments.
Yeah, I suppose.
But that's enough about demon babies. So
Yeah. What's the and then there's the third one, the
which
changeling.
I feel like we're going in reverse order of worst to best. The changeling,
Uh-huh.
which would be like not good at all if not for the fact that they start to say like, you know what, let's make this really fucking weird.
Yeah, they take it all away.
Yes, which I love. So obviously the changeling is pretending to be their son, who's got to be what, like 7 or 8, like it's a young kid.
6, I would say.
Okay, 6, 7, 8, whatever, he's young. And he goes from being like sweet and asthmatic to he doesn't need his inhaler anymore, and he's like totally fucking silent.
Yeah.
And you get like a couple of like funny moments when the changeling is just eating feverishly this fucking spaghetti, and the dad's like, slow down there, bud, and goes to like move his hand towards the plate, and he gets fork stabbed real quick.
Yeah.
Not through it, just like a quick jab. And the dad's like, I'm about to bitch slap the fuck out of you. And the mom's like, wait, come on, no, wait. And I do not endorse corporal punishment, but once your kid has attempted to stab you, you get one. You get one.
Yeah. I hear that.
In addition, this kid is like doing all kinds of shit, and the dad just wants to do any sort of punishment. At one point, he goes to like take his belt off, which, yes, is too far. But again, you've been fork stabbed by this point, so you're probably already a little upset. And the mom keeps acting like, stop, no, why are you doing that? Which feels ridiculous. So at some point, the dad is like, I'm going to go stay out on the couch, and I'm mad. The mom is just, I guess, trying to unwind. She goes to take a shower. While she's in the shower, we see like little changeling boy right there when she opens up the curtain. And I guess the changeling is like, just like the character from Love Actually, interested in some strange. So we then cut to the mom in bed. And again, this is going exactly where you think it's going to go based on what we're starting to say. We see the movement under the covers. Then we see the mom like kind of into it.
Yep.
And then I feel like she like wakes up and you just get like a shot of, I feel like, this kid's face, and then he just like scurries away, and you're like, random pussy eating changeling demon. Like, the fact that it's supposed to be her son too, and she's not like, time to beat your ass. That's the time when it's like, okay, give me your belt, because you know what? You've gone too far, Buster.
Yeah.
You need a long time out and probably a breath mint.
Oh, I that for me was when I was like, pause, how much longer in this movie?
Oh, come on.
I didn't care for it, Dylan.
I think I like it because it's the time when the movie's starting to do shit that you're like, oh shit, this is interesting. Because otherwise, you're gonna watch the most dull cliche thing possible. So it's when it does things that are unusual or like, ooh, that you're like, oh yeah, this is giving me what I want now. You know what I
Well,
mean?
let's get to the best of the storylines.
Let's get to it. So, Dangerous Stan. Well, let's not start there.
Yeah.
Let's just start
Yeah, yeah.
talking about Santa in the North Pole.
Okay.
Santa in the North Pole, there's a zombie elf outbreak, and he goes on a fucking tear. This Santa is a bad motherfucker,
Yep.
and he's not taking any elf bullshit. He's got a job to do. He's got one night where he's actually working, and he gets paid for the rest of the year, like those people who climb to the top of skyscrapers and change the light bulbs. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh yeah.
Which, terrified of heights, but still, like, I think I'd be okay with like one uncool night for a year's salary.
Yeah, and the safety precautions are there.
I'm intrigued. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Same.
If you know the link to apply, send it to the mail at movieswatchbefore@gmail.com.
Yeah, please.
Santa is fighting these elves. He's decapitating motherfuckers. He at one point he takes the scalp off an elf, so the elf's brain is exposed. That elf comes back later. He rips another elf's head off by sticking his fingers into the eye sockets of that elf, and then smacks that elf brain on the skull. Gab, how are you? You do not have a face that says, "Oh, that was awesome. That was wild. What the fuck?"
I was a little like, okay.
Santa spears a zombie elf to the ceiling at one point.
Yeah.
Santa's doing some cool shit. And, Santa just keeps fighting his way through because he's got a job to do, goddammit. He's not going to disappoint the kids.
Yeah.
At some point, Santa comes across Mrs. Claus and he's like, my darling. Oh no, Mrs. Claus is infected. And he says, you gots to go, bitch.
Yeah.
And in a much more tasteful way, he snaps her neck and shatters. It's not that
Now,
tasteful. It's just that they didn't explicitly show it.
If Giselle had turned into a zombie, would you have the decency to kill her?
I presume I'm already long dead by this point. Like, not to sound like Dwight from The Office, like, if Giselle's turned, I turned a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've already been captured.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I feel.
I also think that's such like a horror movie thing where it's like, you have to kill the one you love, to save the
Yeah.
rest or something.
Yeah.
And in reality, you would not acclimate to the situation that quickly. Like, that's the thing we do watching horror movies, that it's like, you're in a horror movie. You have to do this. And in reality, if we came across a situation that strange, we would take a long time to process it and already be fucked.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where was I? So Santa murders Mrs. Claus,
Mhm.
which feels like it should be a fucked up Christmas song. God, what happens after that? Santa is preparing the sleigh because, again, he's got that one fucking job to do. When all of a sudden, there's something going on outside of, I don't know what you even call that. I guess
It's like the barn
ramp.
door.
Yeah, there's these barn doors and like,
Because
I guess
the
it's where-
reindeer.
yeah, it's the reindeer ramp. But he hears a noise outside and he goes, it's been you all along. And who should walk in? Returning from one of our other stories, that foul beast, that foul devil Krampus. And I do love that he's like, so you've come back, bitch. It's time to throw down. Like, you get the feeling that Santa and Krampus, it's like, shit, we got to do this again. I got to show you who's boss.
Yep.
And they start to have a fight. Santa takes some lumps in the fight, but Santa fucking kicks ass. This version of Santa, you name me a version of Santa that would beat this version.
I can't.
Yeah, he'd fuck up any of those jolly fat fucks.
Yeah.
And then we find out what I guess is our twist of the movie, which I will ask you in a second if you like or don't like, but let's preface it. During the wraparound, Dangerous Stan, I feel like I'm filibustering right now. I feel like you're not saying anything.
You're the only one that can explain this.
Okay. Dangerous Stan is talking about, some of the events that are sort of going on, where he talks about, in memoriam to the kids who passed away at the school last year, which happened to be his grandkids. One of them was, or something like that. And he's talking about, the weatherman, Stormin' Norman, is going down to the charity food drive at the mall or something like that.
Stormin' Norman, who is a prick.
You know what? Stormin' Norman just seems fed up. But yeah, Stormin' Norman turns out to be a bit of a prick because he says like, "Hey, Norman, how you feeling about the Christmas season?" And Norman writes on a piece of paper, "Fuck you," and holds it up to like the window.
No, he writes "fuck Christmas."
He
I know.
does.
Fuck Christmas.
He's a monster.
Fuck
I mean, if he's
you,
Jewish,
I
I
think
don't
would
know.
have been a little bit more like, oh, this guy's kind of a dick. But fuck Christmas was like, something's wrong with him.
Well, I mean, Christmas is also like the season where most people are depressed generally.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we don't know what's going on with Norman. But
True.
we kind of figure out what's going on with Norman because it turns out the Santa that we've been watching fuck up zombie elves is Norman dressed as Santa, who has had a mental breakdown at the mall and has been seeing himself as Santa fighting zombie elves, when in reality he has been just murdering people on a tear through the mall. And at
Yeah.
the very end,
No.
when he thinks he's killing Krampus, he finally snaps back to reality somewhat as some guy screaming, "Norman, why are you doing this?" or something like that. And then the cops are outside and he sort of just snaps back into his "I'm Santa killing Krampus" right now. And that's when the cops kill Norman.
Yeah. So essentially, Stormin' Norman, who's obviously going through it, has a psychotic break. And he's at the Christmas food drive at the mall, dressed as Santa. And in his psychotic break, believes he is Santa and starts murdering people that he perceives are zombie elves and Krampus and yada yada. I will say that storyline I think was awesome.
Oh, nice. I will
loved
say,
it.
the very first time I saw the movie, I hated that twist because I so badly wanted it to be Santa fighting the fuck out of Krampus. I was like, "Let's go, Santa." That scene almost converted me, Gav. I was like, "This is the Santa I will get behind."
Wow. That's I'm surprised because I didn't see it coming. And I was like, oh, cool. Because I was like, oh, Stormin' Norman's gonna be Krampus or some bullshit like that, you know?
Yeah, I think it totally works. Like the twist totally catches you. You don't expect it. Maybe that also has to do with the fact that these other three stories are so like cliche and lackluster that you're sort of not like expecting anything from the fourth out of these four. And the fourth story is like, yeah, no, we're doing the most.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be better because I just thought to myself for a second, if this was like an hour and a half long movie about just the Santa.
Dylan, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to tell you, if those other three storylines didn't exist, I would have liked this movie so much more. But anytime we got to another storyline, I was like, oh, I don't care. I don't care. But I cared about Santa and the zombie elves.
Okay. I do feel like I just don't think there's probably not enough there to sustain it for a feature length time with just that story. But you're saying if it had just been like a half hour of just that.
Or even if we had gotten into a little bit more about Stormin' Norman and Dangerous Dan. And, you know, obviously Dangerous Dan has a drinking problem and Dangerous Dan keeps talking to somebody who isn't there. Like, if we could have gotten into a little bit more of that, I would have been like, okay, all right.
Well, that sets it up like Dangerous Dan is a crazy person. Dangerous Dan is talking to whoever is like behind, you know, the glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just not a person that's shown.
But then it keeps cutting to like the robot that is in charge of like the commercials and stuff. I don't think there was a person there. I think he's like Susan, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think Susan is there.
Well, this is a fan theory I've not heard, that Susan does not exist and Dangerous Dan's a little crazy.
That's what I think.
Dangerous Dan is definitely hitting the sauce a bit too much, though. Dangerous Dan is like already got eggnog and he's like, more alcohol.
Yeah. Do you like eggnog?
I don't think I've ever actually tried eggnog, and I don't think I want to.
It's so good.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems nasty.
No, it's actually really good. Starbucks used to do an eggnog latte, and I could fuck with an eggnog latte.
Does eggnog not inherently have alcohol in it?
Yeah, no, eggnog does not have alcohol in it. You can add alcohol, but it is inherently alcoholless. And it's delicious.
Perhaps I'll have to try it. It doesn't seem good.
I know the word egg will really fuck you up, but it's like the milk at the bottom of a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Also, I have to tell you about my Cinnamon Toast Crunch thing. Okay.
Go on. I'm intrigued by cereal talk.
So I know you are.
I am a serial killer.
It is true. So you know that Corey and I have been watching a lot of 90 Day Fiancé. This is something that we've talked about on the podcast. We've been watching it for a long time. We're finally at the season with Big Ed. We've been on a before the 90 days kick.
Okay.
Very excited. We just watched like half of the first episode last night, but we've been watching a lot of it. And the other night I had a dream. And in my dream, Corey says to me, I have this friend who's trying to become a citizen. You should totally marry him. He's really funny and he's really cool and he would marry you. I don't want to marry you. He loves buying engagement rings. I don't like buying engagement rings. He's really awesome. He's really cool. He's really fun. And his favorite cereal is Citizens Toast Crunch. My fucking subconscious came up with Citizens Toast Crunch. How proud are you of me?
Your subconscious should write for Jimmy Fallon because I don't know how I feel about it, but like I guess it's so stupid it's funny.
Thank you. And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? You're trying to sell me? Like what? And he was like, no.
Listen, you got an immigration hearing coming up and you better not frosted flake on it.
Oh my God. Have you ever seen the meme where it's like my 6-year-old and my 2-year-old were eating Lucky Charms and the 2-year-old was only eating the marshmallows and the 6-year-old goes, you can't just eat the marshmallows, you got to eat the cat food too.
I've never seen this.
So that's our new phrase for like when you have to do something you don't want to do, like, all right, come on, we got to eat the cat food too.
Yeah, what's the word for when somebody is forced out of the country that I can't think of right now?
Oh, when you're oh boy, when you're immigration
not
Corey,
exiled, huh?
what's the word for when immigration kicks you out of the country?
We're so dumb.
Deported.
All
you.
this to set up this joke. We gotta deport that British bastard, that honey nut Cheerio.
That wasn't worth it. That wasn't worth it.
No, it wasn't. I didn't say it was worth it. Okay.
All right. Anyway, so are you proud of me? I feel like that was really good work by my subconscious. Citizens Toast Crunch.
I'm gonna spend the rest of the day trying to think of cereal puns now.
Good. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So Christmas Horror Story. Where were we?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else to say. Should we just get to the facts?
I feel like the opinion time was just me talking for this episode more than ever. But let's get to some facts.
Okay.
I want the truth! Face the facts, dukes.
Facts have no place with an organized religion.
Rob Archer played Krampus, and he was talking about the fact that is just, there's prosthetic makeup on his head, obviously, but he is just shirtless in his scene with his body painted. And he was saying that some of the scenes were filmed in negative 22-degree weather in Canada. And he was like talking about how hard a shoot it was. And for a character who doesn't have any lines, he is just there for his appearance. God bless that man for his commitment to not only his body, but to this movie, to a Christmas Horror Story that he was like, yeah, I'll freeze my fucking nips off for this.
Holy shit. That's insane.
He also said that the Krampus makeup took about 8 hours. Yeah. One of the writers, Doug Taylor, described it as "Who hasn't had a Christmas gone wrong?" And I believe this was one of the directors or another writer. I'll get to it in a second. There he is. He's another writer, Pascal Trottier. Who hasn't said "fuck Christmas" at some point and been fed up with the bullshit, and then you laugh and have fun, and you're actually enjoying, which is what Christmas is about. Yada, yada, yada. I did not find a lot of facts. Clearly, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. During the closing credits, it stated that no elves were harmed in the making of the film.
Oh, that's nice. The elves. I'm trying to think of how to ask this the correct way. Were the elves played by people of average stature?
Average stature? What the fuck is that shit?
Were these people of, height above the 70th percentile?
They were little people.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe some of those little people probably also played some of the changelings, because we see a group of changelings at some point, which, it feels like the changeling mask looks good, but the longer we look at it, the more you can tell, like, oh, that mask doesn't really move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, you got to work around it. Like I said, you can tell that this movie is not made on a high budget, but there are definitely a lot of things in this movie that you're like, oh, that looks really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking up a picture of the changelings now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're bad.
The mask itself is not bad. It's just if you show it long enough and show that it doesn't really move and show that they're all wearing sort of the same mask, well, yeah, it gets exposed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the last thing is the director, Steve Hoban, said the only parameters I set were 1, the movie had to be both scary and fun. 2, it should take place in the town of Bailey Downs. We also contemplated Bedford Falls, which is the town from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh.
Bailey Downs is where the horror film Ginger Snaps, which is about werewolves, was set, that a lot of the people who worked on this movie did work on. And it's also the setting for the show Orphan Black, which a lot of the people who worked on this movie worked on.
Have you ever seen Orphan Black?
I have not.
Dylan Pollock. Am I allowed to say your last name?
Yes.
Okay. Dylan Conrad Pollock. Stop what you're doing, hang up with me, and go watch Orphan Black. It is one of the best television shows I've ever seen in my life. It is the latter seasons don't quite keep up, but in the beginning, it is so fucking good. Tatiana Maslany plays every character. She's a clone, and so she plays like all the other clones of herself. And it is a masterclass. It is fucking phenomenal. And the show is really, really good and really interesting. Cannot recommend it enough. I think it might be on Prime. Please watch it. It is so good. That just gave so many points to this movie because they were somehow related to Orphan Black.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard really good things about Orphan Black. And that is, you were like, Bailey Downs, why that? And I'm like, that there is your connection for why it was Bailey Downs.
Interesting. That's so weird. I don't remember the town being called Bailey Downs. But it's also like in Canada.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, it's a Canadian TV show.
This was a very Canadian movie.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so director
Is
Steve
William Shatner Canadian?
Yes. The man's a treasure.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
No, I think he's 93, but God bless him. I think he still works. He was 82 in this movie or something like that.
That's crazy.
That math doesn't check out for me just saying he's 93, but well, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to worry about it over here.
What were the other parameters the director had said? 3, each story had to fit into a different subgenre of horror. So, ghost story, creature, creepy kid, zombies.
92.
90. That was close.
Yeah, very close.
Okay. And 4, the stories had to weave in and out of each other. We did the same thing to great effect in another thing they did, Darknet.
Okay.
Oh, I realized I went out of order this time. I started with the fun facts, but let's go back now to our ratings. IMDb gives this a 5.8 out of 10, which is solid. The Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter gives it an 83%.
What?
Largest discrepancy I feel like I've seen between the tomato meter and the audience score. 83% with an average rating of 7 out of 10, 19 fresh reviews, and 4 rotten. The audience score was a 48% with an average score of 3.2 out of 5.
There we go.
I do not have the budget or box office information. I saw budget estimates of $3 million, which, is definitely not a lot. But I do feel like with what they were given, they did a lot.
If you had $3 million deposited into your bank account today, how long do you think you could live on that?
Probably a couple of years.
Yeah, I think
least.
I'd give myself like 3 to 5 years.
I feel like longer than that, because yours 3 to 5 years says you're spending $1 million a year.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is imagine all of your bills and all the things that you'd have to pay off, right? Like, let's say you buy a house, you put a swimming pool in the house, you fucking, whatever. Like, and then also you've got all this money in your bank account. Like, you're still going to work every day. So fuck it. Let's go to Greece. Fuck it. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, that money runs out
too. That money's lasting the rest of your life then.
No, what are you gonna budget? You asshole, you're gonna spend it.
What are you gonna try and not waste the money?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Try to be conservative with your dollars? Absolutely not. I'd be out here like, yeah, let's go to fucking whatever.
I feel like what you want me to say, Gab, is that money's lasting one day, and that day's gonna be in Atlantic City, baby.
No. First of all, if you're gonna spend it all in one day, please go to Vegas, not Atlantic City. Don't be gross.
That money's getting spent at the local casino, baby.
What is it? What's the one by my parents' house? Jake's 58.
Yeah.
I used to go there on my lunch
going
break.
to World's Resort Casino in Queens.
Oh God! So you want to get shot too? No, bad idea.
World's Resort Casino is fine. Quite frankly, I went to Vegas a couple months before I went to World's Resort Casino because I actually ended up going with Zach and Allie, and every casino looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Vegas casinos are nicer and larger, and once you get out of the gambling floor, the Vegas casinos are much nicer. But in the area where the gambling occurs, if I drop you in any one of them, you cannot tell me which one you're in. And obviously, I think that's very intentional. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say this. I mean, I have a gambling problem.
Going
I had
back
a gambling
to the Super
problem
Nintendo Caesar's Palace
when we were kids. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I used to go to Jake's 58 on my lunch break and just fucking go and be like, oh, I'm just gonna see what happens. Maybe I don't have to go back to work after this. Ha ha ha. Like, not good. But the thing about Vegas is that they really do a good job of reminding you, like, you're still poor. You know what I mean? Like, Vegas is like, oh, this looks nice, right? Well, you can't go there because you don't have enough money. So I feel like they do a good job of reminding you, like, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to leave here and still be poor. But like, if you go to, say, like, World's, what is it called?
World's Resort Casino or something?
World's Resort Casino. You probably are rich there. So you are a high roller. And that's where the danger occurs.
I guess. I mean, I think you can easily waste your money at any casino.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was at Vegas, I spent like $200 in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I called Zach and I was like, I can't believe I just blew $200. And Zach went, Dylan, some schmuck in there he just spent $200,000 in the same amount of time. Don't worry about the $200. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Don't listen to him.
I think it was he went, you're not spending any more right now. I went, no. And he went, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not in Vegas every day. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
that's true. I got food poisoning in Vegas.
Was it nicer in Vegas?
No.
Does it beat food poisoning at home?
No, definitely not. I was stuck in the Caesar's Palace public bathroom for like 8 hours. I had tickets to see Britney Spears and I couldn't go because I couldn't stop shitting myself.
Damn, that's like Giselle had tickets for Bad Bunny. I was so excited I got her Bad Bunny tickets and she got COVID right when it happened. And she couldn't go. Instead, we got to spend an entire week terribly sick.
Yeah. Of course, the payoff. You know what's funny? I've gotten Corey a couple of tickets for a couple of things, and like every time something has come up where like can't make it, can't go, whatever, and like I've just started to realize like that has to happen a lot. Like tickets are such a scam because it's like who's to say what's going to happen on this day? You know what I mean? It's such a gamble. It's a gamble. It's like Vegas.
I mean, it's not quite like Vegas, but tickets are definitely a fucking scam.
Yeah. They don't let you get your money back at all.
I think you can pay to have the ability to get your money back. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
you want to have ticket insurance for an extra. It sounds even scammier the more I'm talking about it.
I know. But then they'll turn around and be like, so what's the reason? Can you submit a doctor's note? Do you have a police report? Oh, no? Well, then, sorry. It's like, what?
I have his death notice. He's dead. Well, he doesn't need the money back then, does he?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
A Christmas Horror Story. So let's get to some reviews. The critics' consensus: if you're in the mood for a fun enough genre film that kills its holiday theme, look no further than the surprisingly astute A Christmas Horror Story. Brad Wheeler from Globe and Mail: this smart, zippy, bloody frightster is a Canadian-made gift that will continue to give in the best possible ho 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 horror way. That seems a bit much, but okay. Peter Sabinski from RogerEbert.com: whenever one of the stories begins to generate any real head of steam, viewers are jerked into another one and the whole process starts over again. Which I understand as a criticism. It's fair. Rob Steger from The Village Voice: the anthology is a mixed stocking. If you reach inside, something's likely to grab you. I do love the critic who is like, gotta get some kind of like pun in there, some kind of Christmas pun in there.
Yeah.
And lastly, Matt Donato from We Got This Covered: each story has its own twisted holiday charm, but nothing can top Santa's fight against a horde of zombie elves, nor should it. And the last thing, because these are some lesser known people, I'm going to go through the credits now. It was directed by Grant Harvey, Stephen Hoban, and Brett Sullivan, who also directed Heartland, Far Cry 6, Winona Earp, and Orphan Black.
Orphan Black.
Written by James Lee, Sarah Larson, Doug Taylor, and Pascal Trottier, who also wrote 4 Roxy Hunter movies, which is apparently a series of films I had never heard of. The movie Splice, which that's a movie I do actually know.
Hmm.
You ever see Splice with Adrian Brody, I think?
No.
It's fine. In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, and The Colony. The movie stars William Shatner as Dangerous Dan, who you may know from Star Trek, TJ Hooker, and Miss Congeniality. George Buza as Santa, who, if you're around our age, you might know as Beast from the X-Men cartoon that we grew up watching. And once you know that, you can kind of hear it. I only gave people 1 credit because there's not a lot of credits for some of these people. Yeah. Zoe de Grand Maison as Molly, who you may know from Riverdale. Alex Ozarov Meyer as Ben, who you may know from Orphan Black and The Americans.
Who was he in Orphan Black?
I don't know.
Okay.
I did not.
It's fine.
Down.
I'll look it up on my own.
Shannon Kook as Dylan, who you may know as Zane from Degrassi, another celebrated Canadian production.
Yep.
Sorry.
Drake.
Or as Drew from the Conjuring movies, which he's in all 3 of the Conjuring movies. So good for you, Shannon. Amy Forsyth as Caprice, who you may know from Hellfest. Jeff Clark as Taylor, who you may know from Mad Men. Michelle Golden as Diane, who you may know from Saving Hope. Adrian Holmes as Scott, who was the cop, who was the dad in the Changeling story, who is Uncle Phil in the dramatic Fresh Prince reboot Bel Air.
Same.
And Olanuke Adelie as Kim, who you may know from Saw 3D, and Orion John was the little boy Will, but I don't think he had any other credits that I knew of.
Who was the one that was in Orphan Black?
Ben, Alex Ozarov Meyer.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing him. He doesn't seem to be credited. Oh, okay. Anyway,
I was gonna say I didn't pull that out of my ass.
No. I was looking at the wrong thing. Orphan Black, Ramon.
He does not.
4 episodes. I don't remember who Ramon
4
is.
episodes. Goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
anyway.
At the Toronto After Dark Film Festival, it won Best Monster Creature, Best Fight, Best Villain, and Best Canadian Feature Film.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah. All right, Gab, we put this off long enough. Should we, instead of getting to the verdicts for A Christmas Horror Story, which I'm sure are building up to a big reveal, should we do some mail?
I mean, Dylan, the mailbox is just stuffed. We got to clear this thing out.
Mail time!
When you control the mail, you control information.
Mom asked me to ask you if there's any mail for us here by mistake.
What?
Okay, so let's open up our ear holes and unstuff this mailbox. I'm going to start with Over the Garden Wall, which is like a month ago.
Wow.
We got a lot of mail coming. First, somebody replied on one of our shorts for Over the Garden Wall. Bro, I was searching for this movie for 6 years, which it's not even a movie. So I hesitate to believe them, but I'm glad they found it.
Yeah. Also, no wonder you couldn't find it.
Yeah, this was the real Yama. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Then we have a message, comment from Scotty Cameron, who hath returned. Do I have to sing it? I guess I have to sing it. If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman might.
Kryptonite. Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, God, I hope Gab knows it. Okay. There's an early 2000s rock music reference for Brian. Brian's long gone. My fellow metalhead in this yappy community. I know Three Doors Down isn't a metal band, but rock is the gateway drug to metal. I'm alive and well. I wrote about ChatGPT and how Gab uses it to write essays on last week's episode. I also mentioned that Shapesmith from Invincible was a better name for a stretchy character than Plastic Man. For whatever reason, that comment disappeared. It must be a YouTube glitch that erased my comment. No need for a missing persons report or an APB.
Oh, yay.
And thank God he's back because we got Scotty coming out the wazoo. Here comes some more Scotty comments.
Okay.
I will just say I've been a little busy the last few weeks because I will graduate from UMKC on December 15th, 2023, which has already passed. So mazel tov.
Mazel tov, as that weird video said that I told you about.
Yeah, that guy was faking it. That's not a real rabbi.
He was like an Orthodox rabbi. He kept saying Mazel tov. And I was like, I've literally never heard that said like that in my whole life.
It sounds like an Italian guy who's in hiding as a rabbi, which honestly, Kind of sounds like it's a good, like, wise guy who has to go in hiding type movie. It's the sister act
Ooh.
for a fake Italian.
Yeah. Hey, Mazel Tov.
I would watch it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Why are these garlic knots all flat? Where's the yeast?
John Travolta, right? Of course, young John Travolta.
Oh, I could buy it. I'll watch that.
All right, I think we just made some money, Dill.
So as comments have been getting shorter, I've been nominated for the Dean of Students Honor Award, and I have finals and term papers on the horizon. I won't use ChatGPT for my papers. I will still make an effort to send something, and now I know to check to make sure those items are actually submitted and not erased by a glitch.
You should use ChatGPT, by the way. It's brilliant.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Comment from Lenola Cola. The eventual Brian and James double guest spot on Movies to Watch Before You Die will be the most anticipated crossover of the universe, or perhaps the Yappy Dude listener Bananaverse, which Gab does not understand at all.
No, but we could do that.
I think we will at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, if they agree on something. While I never caught the miniseries when I still had a DirecTV box, I always smile whenever I see... I think there's a typo here. I always smile whenever I see it air around October. Now, I have a theory, but some of the popular 2010s Western animation shows stem from Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I don't know what that is. Do you?
Me neither. No idea.
The creators of Adventure Time, Regular Show, Gravity Falls, and Over the Garden Wall worked on that show, and the creators of Steven Universe and The Owl House worked on Adventure Time and Gravity Falls, respectively. The connecting dots between which creator worked on what is a rabbit hole even I'm not ready for, and that's not getting into the inspirations for each creator. It reminds me of, in the NFL, how you have coaching trees, how it's like it starts at the top, and then there's like 17 famous coaches, but they all lead back to one Hall of Fame coach who hired all of them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, it means nothing to you. On to the next one. This one is from Vitz. Been super busy with life and photography, but still listening. I mostly came to say that I'm super happy Gab realized something I had a hunch on when it comes to enjoying anime cartoons. There's a huge gap of what can be achievable in animation and reality, and with that, anything can be done when it comes to cartoons, which can lead people to having a hard time with animation because the only rules they have to follow are the ones they establish in their world. And sometimes they will backpedal on that and change the rules again to fit the plot they are establishing. Now, Gab, I think you could get into an anime or two as long as they are slice of life. It's less weird and fantasy and more human-centric. Sure, it can be super silly and over the top from time to time, but at least they do play into the world of what is actually possible, and a lot are drama or rom-com. I doubt you'll check this one out, but an anime I think you should give a fair shot is The Wind Rises. It's a Studio Ghibli movie. I think that's how you say it. It is based on true people in history, and the whimsy is set in dream sequences, which there is actual dialogue about it, or the character is staring out in space daydreaming, and a couple that are a metaphor setting the timeline in history. Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Emily Blunt star in the English dub. Also, I'm guessing this is another anime, Mongolian Chop Squad. It's about a teenager and his life in wanting to learn guitar and play in a band. It's only one season long and a good English dub. But again, doubt you'll watch it. Anyway, glad you love Over the Garden Wall. This series is fantastic and amazing. I recommend a multi-watch before you die.
I like a multi-watch before you die. We're watching it on Christmas. Can't wait.
That's still the plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're also going to go to the gym.
Oh, what gym is open on Christmas?
We have a gym that like fitness professionals are like really only able to go to, and you have a 24/7 key fob access.
That sounds terrible.
No, it's wonderful.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
On to the comments on Matilda.
Jeez.
Scotty, I told you we got to freaking catch up. Scotty Cameron. 4103, which Lord knows what we said then.
Yeah.
That's me with the first season of Halo. God, that show was so awful. I was committed to finishing, hoping it would get better, and it just got worse. What we were talking, I think you mentioned some show that you've been watching that was really bad, but you stuck with it. I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Master Chief sleeps with a Covenant spy. He put a barf emoji, so that's bad.
Okay. Not sure.
I've always had PlayStation. I don't know Halo. That's my equivalent to Dylan watching Titans or Giselle watching the Gossip Girl reboot. Oh, I guess that was both things I was talking about. Sorry, Scotty. I'm so far back from these things. Lenola Cola on Matilda. The discussion of the SVU unlocked some memories I had when I used to watch Law and Order when I was younger. I did catch the episode, but I don't think I ever finished it. And now for the questions of the week, Dylan's favorite part. Quick answers to these questions, Gab. You ready?
I promise.
Now that we're in the holiday season, what do you look forward to every winter? Examples, holiday TV specials, seasonal food or drinks, family visits, giving or receiving presents.
Peppermint chocolate anything, so like a peppermint mocha situation or a York peppermint patty, and receiving gifts. I like giving gifts, but I always think it means a lot to me when somebody really thinks about and puts a lot of thought into something for me. I'm not like one of those greedy people. It's really touching to me.
I kind of loathe gifts because I just live in fear of like fucking gifts up. That's my life. I'm like, it feels like I'm disarming a bomb where I'm like, oh god, one wrong wire, this whole thing's gonna blow.
Sure.
But I do like to watch Christmas things. You know what I mean? Whether it be Christmas horror movies or whether it be just regular Christmas stuff in general.
Okay.
Snow, yay or nay?
Nay.
Yay, and me being inside looking at snow. Nay to shoveling snow. Nay to having to travel in snow.
Yeah. As somebody who lives in New York City and has to take public transportation, nay.
Favorite or least favorite holiday song?
Favorite is the NSYNC song, followed very closely by George Michael, Last Christmas.
Least favorite, the Mariah Carey one.
Yeah.
Favorite, I might say Run DMC has Christmas in Hollis Avenue or whatever it's called. I do
Christmas
like that
in
one.
Hollis, you moron.
Whatever, I was close enough.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably about it. I'm not very into Jingle Bell Rock. That's cool too, I guess.
I don't like most Christmas music except for the NSYNC song and the George Michael song.
I don't even know the NSYNC one. I know the George Michael one. Is that just George Michael or is that Wham?
It might be Wham.
Oh.
I'm not positive. But the NSYNC song.
You felt confident, and the very next day I took it away.
Exactly. The NSYNC song is one that goes Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. No,
Gab, that's like 80% of them, but thanks.
Yeah, but it's NSYNC. You know how much I love NSYNC.
Matilda, this is Scotty Cameron writing this one. Matilda is a timeless classic that captivates audiences with its enchanting blend of whimsy and heart. Based on Roald Dahl's beloved novel, the film tells the story of a remarkably gifted young girl named Matilda who discovers her extraordinary telekinetic powers. With a perfect mix of humor, magic, and a touch of darkness, the movie explores themes of resilience, empowerment, and the triumph of good over evil. Mara Wilson's portrayal of Matilda is endearing and memorable, while Danny DeVito, who also directed the film, delivers a standout performance as the comically villainous headmistress, Miss Trunchbull. Not quite. Matilda is a delightful journey that resonates with both children and adults, leaving a lasting impression on its viewer and reminding us of the power of imagination and the importance of standing up for what is right. Definitely wasn't written using ChatGPT.
That's hilarious.
This motherfucker swindled me, and I will never get that time back.
He really did. He swindled us both. He swindled everyone listening.
Not cool. We are up to comments on Across the Universe. Get in there.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
Scotty Cameron, Rescue Dawn is a good movie set during the Vietnam War. Very good movie with Steve Zahn and Christian Bale both being awesome. I think I also mentioned Platoon last time. That's a real good Vietnam movie. Mark Aquino. There's a great YouTuber I subscribe to by the name of Elliot Roberts. He's made a lot of great Beatles-related videos that you guys should check out. He did a video on Beatles tribute movies, and he called Across the Universe the only good one, which I personally agree with, especially when you compare it to a more infamous Beatles tribute movie from 1979, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I've seen that one as well, and boy howdy, it is unbearably awful. It's the kind of film in which you can tell that whoever came up with all the ideas must have been on drugs, and not in a good way. It's the complete opposite of a movie to watch before you die. It's one you really should avoid at all costs. It's a movie to die before you watch.
Yes.
Also, Dylan, I want you to tell Gab right now that she rules because she does. And Gab, I want you to tell yourself right now that you rule because you do. Mark Aquino is very concerned about your self-esteem and don't give a fuck about me.
Yeah. Also, don't be concerned about my self-esteem. I love myself. But thank you, Mark. That means a lot.
I'll just go fuck myself, Mark.
Yeah, you're cool too, Dill.
Thanks. Do you know who plays the Beatles in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the movie?
The Beatles?
Nope.
Oh, they're not in it?
Nope. In 1979, the band had already broken up.
Oh, that's true. No, I don't know. Tell me.
The Bee Gees and Peter Frampton.
Oh, I did know that. Also, Corey has this amazing shirt that is from when the Foo Fighters put out that Bee Gees cover album.
I didn't even know that's a thing. No.
They did. And they called themselves the DGs. And on the back, it says Hail Satin, but it looks like Hail Satan.
Oh, my God.
It's amazing.
It took me a minute to put together the DGs, and I was like,
yeah. Dave Grohl. Yeah.
Um, let's see here. 544. This is Scotty Cameron. He's definitely referencing us talking about Turn Off the Dark. Dylan, did you ever see Batman live? I know it's not a Batman musical, but it was a Batman stage play similar to Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, minus the accidents. I saw it during my freshman year of high school at the Sprint Center, now the T-Mobile Center in KC, and I enjoyed it. I would like to know if it was ever performed in New York City, and if Dylan and or Gab, I know superhero projects aren't really her cup of tea, had a chance to see it. I never
I'd
even
never
heard of
seen
that
it.
until now.
Yeah, I didn't. I've never heard of it either.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, Sally making her guest appearance.
Danny. You know, Corey doesn't like it when people use baby talk when they talk to Sally because she's 15. She's a grown woman. But I do it. Right, Danny? Hi, Danny.
Yeah, she seems
Anyway.
fine with it.
Yeah, she's cool with it. Danny.
Let's see here. We got just a couple more comments. Scotty Cameron, 3555, which is when we were talking about musicians. I think there should be a union for not just rappers, but musicians in general, because those record labels are exploitative as hell. One thing that stuck with me was reading a Loudwire article where Pete Leffler, lead singer of Chevelle, said in an interview that Chevelle had sold 6 million albums, and yet the record label Epic Records collected all the profits and didn't get a penny from those sales. My first reaction is musicians need a union so their record labels aren't robbing them of the sales of their albums. The exploitation, it's too many comments.
You're doing
Gab.
great. You're
I
doing
can't
great.
handle
Keep
it.
going. Keep going. I believe in you.
My emotional support person with your emotional support handle has led to Chevelle cutting ties with Epic Records, and now they're independently producing their music. Now I'm thinking, has WB Records been robbing Linkin Park of their record sales? Did Linkin Park not make any money off of album sales for Hybrid Theory, which was the high-selling album of 2001? Or what about Eminem and Interscope Records? Are musicians' only source of income concerts and merch sales? If so, you all definitely need to form a union to take on your record labels. Musicians, unless you're the tippity top, make most of their money from concerts. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about Taylor Swift and Scooter Braun purchasing the rights to her oh my God, what's the word? Like the originals.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh God damn it, what's it
The
called?
original recordings, that's close enough. Whatever.
Yeah. And she needed to re-record them all.
Yeah, well, fortunately, she's big enough that she can just be like, fuck you, I'll re-record it.
Yeah, but I mean, what a fucking that's expensive and it's a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm not crying for Taylor Swift, but yeah, it's not a cool situation.
Yeah.
Lenola Cola. Now I want to see y'all cover the 2019 film about a person arriving in a world where the Beatles never existed, which makes him a sensation when he sings Beatles songs. I think it was called Yesterday and featured Ed Sheeran. Also, I really enjoyed the podcast. It's over. It's over.
Keep it,
I'm losing.
keep it together.
I
keep
really
it
enjoyed
together.
the podcast on Alien and Aliens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you ever see Yesterday?
No, but that does sound like something I saw a preview for.
I remember the trailers for it, and I remember my aunt and uncle saw it, and they loved it.
Oh, we should do it.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We take requests. We don't always do requests. we have our little spreadsheet, and it like not spreadsheet, but our little shared note, and it has requests and who's requested them, and we just never fucking tackle any of those, do we?
We really don't, but that's because we're too busy trying to one up each other with our movies.
We're too busy with our movies that we're finding out each other hate to get to your movies that we'll probably hate.
Yeah, exactly.
Last comment, Scotty Cameron. I know this movie because about Across the Universe. I know this movie because I repeatedly saw the trailer every time I watched Ghost Rider on DVD when I was in elementary school. Every time I hear the song Hey Jude, I think of Across the Universe trailer, particularly the visual of Uncle Sam reaching out of the We Want You poster at the camera.
Hell yeah.
All right, Gav. Now it's time to get to the emails.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Pedro Enrique. Ah, shit.
Oh, no.
Thoughts on the jerk. Parentheses. I'm so sorry.
Oh, God.
Hey, Dylan and Gab. Pedro here. Back again. Hi, Pedro. So, besides having the flu and having to write an article, I'm doing fine, but I was a bit busy. I did find the time to finally watch The Jerk, as recommended by you. So here are some of my thoughts on the film. I'm going to preface my thoughts with this. I know y'all meant well in recommending a comedy to make me feel better after my last depressing email, but I think as someone who was born in 1998, I'm part of Gen Z, which I would say is one of the most judgmental generations, especially when it comes to older media. I also have my own personal problems with older comedies. Of course, not all of them age poorly, like Young Frankenstein still kills me. And believe me when I say I'm from the generation of people who watched and revered the American Pie movies, and those movies aged way worse in 20 years than some films from the 70s have in 50. I would say a lot of older comedies suffer from the same problem of having a mix of great gags and bits, but once in a while they throw a racial joke that just ages horribly and leaves you to cringe uncomfortably in your seat. This is the case, in my opinion, with The Jerk. I was born a poor black child. That made me laugh, in fact. The whole contrast of this gray haired man in his 30s thinking he's part of a black family and not once doubting it was hilarious and ridiculous. I'm waiting for the butt here.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I did not see the black family as the butt of the joke, save for the reinforcement of some age old stereotypes, which made me uncomfortable.
Hold on. I just want to say at no point is the black family the butt of the joke. It is always Steve Martin that's the butt of the joke.
I do think it's he's about to, I guess, point out more things, but my memory is it seemed to be mostly in good nature.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Seeing a family of black people dancing and singing to a song going to pick a bale of cotton was just bad. I think it was intended for comedy, but I just wasn't expecting to be hit with something so sudden at 8 a.m. Had to watch the movie early, was busy any other time. Well, we didn't tell you when to watch it. Would you have been okay with it at 8 o'clock at night?
Also, I think that was more about them being like kind of backwoods from the middle of nowhere. I don't think that was a racial thing. And obviously I understand the racial implications, but I think if you put the movie in context, it's like the jerk, Steve Martin, was supposed to be uneducated from like a really like middle of nowhere, one street, one horse town kind of thing. I don't think it was like, and they're all dumb and singing about picking cotton because they're black. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that the song is saying like making fun of them for singing that song in any way. Again, we're both two very white motherfuckers. So maybe we're wrong. Maybe we need an outside opinion, but that's not the vibe I got.
I can tell you that, I'm going to save my breath.
Okay. And when you look up the song, it seemed to be just on the normal repertoire of anyone of notoriety from the 30s to the 70s. Even ABBA recorded it for a medley. How bizarre. That's weirder. The idea of ABBA singing that. Also, I'm just going to ignore the Latino, quote, representation in the film, but I'll say this, it didn't help.
What Latino representation? Also, here's the thing, and this is my problem with Gen Z. Okay, you are. Why do you look away? Are you nervous for what I'm about to say?
I'm always nervous what you're about to say, Gab.
Here's
my
problem with Gen Z. Okay, Gen Z doesn't know how to appreciate media through the lens from which it was created. So they're looking at and thinking, oh, this is how they decided to represent. And it's like, no, they weren't thinking about representation. They just did this. Like it was a joke, or this is the actor they hired, or this is the character they wrote. It wasn't meant to be like, and we need to make sure we represent everybody, but we're going to represent them like this because we don't like them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I think I do it too, where I'm accepting of a lot when I watch it, but there are some things that I look back and watch and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was this at the time. The perfect example that I think of is the movie Murder by Death, which was a comedy my mom showed me when I was a little kid. Fucking loved it. Thought it was hysterical. I found out that there's like one Asian character in the movie, and he's played by Peter Sellers, who's a very white guy doing like a very fucked up, like stereotypical impression. And rewatching the movie, I was like, oh, this is a bit uncool. Like, I was like, oh, that's a bit much. I was like laughing at the rest of the movie, but every time it would come back to Peter Sellers, who's a comedy legend, making a joke, I was like,
yeah, but that's like my issue is not, oh, they, it's fine. He's fine. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they weren't like, and we got to make sure we have an Asian character. So let's get Peter Sellers to do it. Like,
well, obviously they weren't thinking about diversity at the time. Yes.
And representation.
Yes. And I think, but I really don't think, like, I'm trying to remember in The Jerk. I don't remember like them making fun of anybody but Steve Martin that hard.
Right. Honestly, at the end, like, to go back to his family, like his family, they end up with all this money and, I don't know.
I don't know what your point is there, but okay.
Me neither.
Let's continue here.
Okay.
Far from me becoming the moral police for comedy, I admit some things made me laugh out loud in the film. Steve Martin's entire relationship with Bernadette Peters, his dumbfounded joy in being on a phone book, the numerous letters to his family, Which the letter that still comes to my mind immediately is him going, I may have extra money to send. Patty has promised me a blowjob.
Yes. It's so
Um,
good.
the gas station, this kind of stuff worked for me. But I do have to say the lack of structure and the joke after joke nature of the film did make it a little shallow, sort of lackluster in some ways. It felt more like I was watching a collage of bits Steve Martin thought of and Carl Reiner happened to have a camera to film him.
Yeah, you
Which is
were.
kind of
That's
fair.
exactly
Yeah.
what you were watching. But
That's
that's what
not-
it is.
Yeah, and there are still movies that come out like that now. Like if I think of the movie, Deadpool, which I have no love for, it is just Ryan Reynolds shtick for like 120 minutes.
Yeah.
And they were like, and insert fight here.
Yeah.
That's not entirely bad per se, but I find that if you're going by a joke by minute philosophy, I would want stronger material. The chase sequence with the kid in the train, for example, was just boring. The only bright part being the introduction of Bernadette Peters in the story. Again, I apologize for being the Debbie Downer with the "this movie is problematic today" annoying voice. Oh, this movie's problematic today. I don't know. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very annoying role to take when doing criticism, especially with comedies, as everyone just wants to enjoy them and discount some things as of their time. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm like the herald of puritanical beliefs. I still enjoy films like Superbad. One of my favorite comedians, Bo Burnham, has his fair share of edgy comedy. I feel like I'm being the most boring person on earth here, but the movie just doesn't have enough for me. It's funny, but it hits so many walls sometimes. The rhythms just feel off to me. Well, as we know, he doesn't have much rhythm in the movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame Martin because of the little I've seen of his stand-up from the time. This is the character he developed. I just think a better structure would have suited the film better. One of the other things that was jarring to me, but not in a bad way, was Steve Martin's performance. I grew up with his later career films, so I'm more used to him as the, quote, smarter than everyone else, sarcastic wordsmith. I knew his earlier acts were that of the more zany, chaotic, crazy dude with a banjo, but his physical comedy in this is something to admire. Now, here's my obvious verdict. While The Jerk does have its laugh-out-loud moments, it falls short in comparison to Steve Martin's later films. I wouldn't say this is a movie to watch before you die. You can skip it and find better Steve Martin films. Sorry, again, for being the most annoying person in the room. What I find funny is I feel like most of Steve Martin's more recent stuff, I'm like, it's not that good.
I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree. Yeah, that's cool, Pedro. It's okay. I think that I'm always going to aim for the separation of the art from the artist and the separation of the intended, in the intention of the humor from the humor itself. And I think this was so clearly done without an ounce of malice. I think that it is pure and that the humor is truly only making fun of Steve Martin and that character. I don't think that there was any, so does it age well in, practice? Maybe not, but in spirit, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's definitely well intentioned, and there are definitely movies of the time that are much more cringe worthy.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm glad he had some laugh out loud moments because I do think it's a
funny
funny movie.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm so
here's
glad you liked it.
yeah, he liked it. It sounds like he didn't
No,
love it,
you.
but oh, me, I liked it. Yes,
Yeah, it's great.
I own it on DVD now. I think. Yeah.
Yay.
Also, here's something weird that happened this week. An instance of unexpected N-word said by a white comedian I love happened twice to me this week. One was The Jerk, obviously. The other was when I finally started watching Always Sunny in Philadelphia, as I did not expect to hear Charlie Day, the voice of Luigi, just drop the hard R in the first episode. Which, again, people say that about Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and there's an episode that they pulled down because every time they make their own sequels to the Lethal Weapon movies,
Mm-hmm.
and every time they do, either Dennis or Mac is pretending to be Murtaugh, Danny Glover's character. So yes, they're in blackface.
Yeah.
But the episode is always making fun of them for how dumb they're being. And I think, again, I am in no way defending blackface. That's not the headline coming out of this is not Dylan defends blackface.
Yeah.
I think the intentionality is important because the point is, look how fucking stupid these two are, or look how stupid the gang is. It's not about they're not glorifying it in any way. They're supposed to be dumb. Same thing with Charlie in It's Always Sunny.
We had the same conversation about Tropic Thunder.
Yes, the intention matters.
Yes, 100%. And honestly, if there are things that I don't know, if you can't make fun of something without fear of being accused of being what you're making fun of. It's like, how are we ever going to have comedy? Like, if I can't make fun of, a political party that I don't believe in without being accused of being a member of that political party, then it's like, that's how we eradicate comedy from this earth. It just is.
Yeah, there's always going to be safe comedy and there's going to be more risque comedy. And risque comedy is going to offend some people, and that's just going to happen. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's my question of this week. Navin introduced his story by saying, I was once born a poor black child. If you had to introduce your life story, what would you say?
Oh boy, you go first.
Well, thanks for that. Nothing funnier than dead air.
Yeah.
I was born an oblivious, naive white boy. I'm like, I don't know.
I think mine would be, think of the most embarrassing story you've ever heard. Now multiply that by 16.
Why 16?
I don't know. This is just the only number that came to my head.
Okay, then.
I'm sorry. Listen, don't put me on the fucking spot.
I was once born. The end. Anyway, sorry for being on the negative part of the spectrum. See you next time. Until then, bye. Pedro?
You never have to apologize for your opinions, ever.
That's fair. But also, Pedro, I really want you to watch A Christmas Horror Story.
No, don't do it, Pedro. Don't waste
Watch
your fucking time. Don't waste your time. Sometimes Corey and I talk about how if we have kids, we could have the next Drake. The only thing is, none of us are Canadian.
So are you just saying because he'd be mixed race?
And Jewish.
Drake's Jewish?
Yes.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like my favorite person. He's funny as fuck. Have you seen him on SNL?
No, I've only seen him on Degrassi.
Oh my God, Dylan. He is hilarious as fuck. But anyway, yeah, very rich, very talented. It could happen, Dylan.
That's true.
Black, white, Jewish. Well, you're not
Have
Canadian.
you ever seen, I think it was College Humor or Funny or Die, but the Black and Jewish parody of Black and Yellow?
No. Oh my God, please send it to me.
Yeah, you got to Google that or I'll send it to you.
Oh, please.
Couple emails left. Keen Machine, Over the Garden Wall. Greetings. Let me start by saying that I watched all of this for the first time in one sitting, a feed that ended around 3 a.m. because I didn't want spoilers beforehand. As you may know, I am a big Brian fan, so skipping this episode was simply not an option. And I was certainly not disappointed on either account. The, quote, not a TV show, unquote, miniseries was very enjoyable, and the commentary here was superb. Gab's brutal. I'm so close, Gab. I'm so close. I gotta get to the end of these emails.
Together. You got
Gab's brutal retelling of her initial reaction to this week's pick was so candid. I was about to feel knowingly sorry for Brian. But then comes the transformative tale of the girl who would like her first animated story. I am shocked. I am elated. I am still disappointed that she didn't like Mask of the Phantasm, but I'll take what I can get here. As for the series itself, it was bizarre and thought-provoking in the best ways. I loved the musical themes and will definitely have to add this to my autumnal... Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Autumnal watch list for years to come. There's many unanswered questions for me, but I'm sure I'll end up spending a day waist deep in fan theories and decade-old internet threads. I am truly shocked, shaking in my boots, as Gab mentioned, that Gab ended up enjoying this more than Dylan. What a twist. Just like it's a twist that Greg was the villain this whole time? Wait, no. Sorry, these fan theories are getting out of control. To wrap this up, it's always fun to hear crossovers and guest stars among the podcasts I enjoy. So great episode all around. Now, where do I sign that petition to make Gab watch Flipper? Until next time, keep it keen. Gab has definitely seen Flipper.
Oh my God, too many times. We could watch Flipper. Dylan as a 7-year-old.
You know what song that movie definitely has? Because it's the only thing that when I think of Flipper, I remember that song that's like
the Michael Jackson song?
No, it's that guy who wears like a belt of harmonicas.
Belt of Billy Joel?
Not like a belt, but it's like he wears like a bandolier. What do you call it? He wears like he's got a bunch of harmonicas or a Blues Traveler.
Oh.
Does this mean nothing to you?
You mean like the Blues Traveler really only had like one good song, right? Like it's all for you.
No, they do that song. Why you wanna give me the run around?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
Why
that's
you
it.
wanna give me a run around in a surefire way to heat things up,
Okay.
but all I want is to blow me down.
I kind of feel like somebody's chat GPTing us because we have two messages that came in, one right after another. The fonts are the same and the names are like kind of specific. So this one's from Dylan Pellick. A celebration of Matilda's spectacular brilliance. If you did this, whoever you are, please tell me what's the motive? What was behind this?
This is Scotty for sure.
Hello, Dylan and Gab. I hope this message finds you both in great spirits. I recently had the joy of revisiting the cinematic gem Matilda, and I felt compelled to share my profound appreciation for this truly spectacular movie. Absolute masterpiece that I believe this is Scotty, isn't it? You son of a bitch. This is ChatGPT. Absolute masterpiece that I believe perfectly aligns with your discerning taste in film. Matilda's enchanting narrative, well, it's a long email. You know what? I'm going to the end. Dylan Pellick, if you're a real person who happens to be named Dylan Pellick, I apologize. Send me another email saying you're real, and I will come back and read this whole email.
They're not real. This is Scotty.
Thank you, Dylan and Gab, for your continuous inspiration in the world of film. I eagerly await your future recommendations and insights. Warmest regards, Dylan. P.S. It's so cool to listen to a podcast with a host named Dylan.
Could it be? No.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
No,
Although they
I
do
don't
spell
trust
their
it
Dylan
either.
differently.
Yeah, of course they do.
I guess it would be obvious if they were just the exact same spelling as me.
Yeah, and he didn't mention like, oh, it's really cool that our last names are so similar.
No, I don't think he noticed.
Fishy.
Something strange going on here.
All right, what's the next one?
But that was the good Matilda email. Here's an email that came in right afterwards from Max Dillon.
Oh yeah, this is Scotty going, write me a letter saying that Matilda sucks.
Here's a prompt for you, Scotty. Don't waste my fucking time. Thoughts on Matilda movie. Dear Dylan and Gab, I hope this email finds you both well. I recently revisited the movie Matilda, and I couldn't help but feel the need to share my less than glowing thoughts about it. While I adore your refined taste in cinema, I must say that Matilda is, in my humble opinion, a cinematic disaster of epic proportions. Skipping to the end. But let me be clear, despite my scathing critique of Matilda, I want to emphasize that your impeccable taste in movies has always inspired me. I hold your opinions in the highest regard, and while I may not see eye to eye with you on this particular film, I fully trust that your refined cinematic palette will continue to guide me toward true masterpieces in the future. This is obviously fake because we are not refined. I do not trust us to guide you to masterpieces.
This is obviously Scotty.
Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this matter. Warmest regards, Max.
Nope, I don't buy it.
We got one last email.
Okay.
We've made it to the end of the road from Keen Machine, Mad Gab, and Dylan. Okay. Gab, do you have your phone out?
Yeah.
All right. I need you to write down some things for me.
Okay.
I need 2 names.
Oh my God. It really is Mad Libs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. 2 names. Okay, Corey and Giselle.
Okay. I need a verb in the past tense.
Farted.
Okay. I need a positive adjective.
Glowing.
Sure. I need another adjective.
Smelly.
And I need a plural noun.
Hyenas.
I need a negative adverb.
Oh, a negative adverb.
Mhm.
Adverbs end in ly. So what's something negatively?
I'm the one who's going to have to read this whole thing. You gotta do the grammar lesson.
Angrily? No.
Okay.
No, because it's a oh, that's not an adverb, I think.
We are being exposed right now by Keen.
No. I feel very smart because I remembered that an adverb ends in ly, but it's got to be like negative,
Roughly?
like
Shittily?
No, because it's got to be a verb. No, maybe let's do angrily
Okay.
and just see what happens.
I need a plural noun.
Smocks.
Okay. I need a verb in the past tense.
Cried.
I need another verb.
Morphed. No, morph.
I need another verb.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Rollerbladed. Rollerblade. I don't know why I want them to all be past tense.
I need a noun.
Chocolate.
I need another verb.
I'm trying to think of something like really random. Another verb. Um Oh, Dylan, help. Think of a verb.
A verb?
Yeah.
Jump.
You're so fucking lame.
Whatever. I need a number.
67.
Okay. And I need another verb
Grunt.
and a positive adjective.
Positive. How can an adjective be positive? Oh, I
What do you mean?
understand.
Like, are you beautiful or are you scummy?
Yeah. Let's do positive adjective. Let's do delicious.
Okay. Can you send that list to me?
Yeah.
Because I
It's
now have
not-
to combine these.
Okay, here we go. Copy. Oh, copy.
Damn you, Keen.
Let me not send this to the wrong person. Don't send it to Corey. Send it to Dylan. Paste. Okay, here we go.
Okay, here we go. Greetings, Corey and Giselle. Wow, it appears we've farted back in time to visit a childhood classic, Matilda. Oh, this is so stupid. I was glowing to learn this film is known for its smelly cast and stunning hyenas. However, with Gab's angrily distasteful disposition against childhood media, except for Cat in the Hat, apparently, Dylan certainly had the smocks stacked against him. All things cried, I'm sure glad that Dylan was able to morph his case for why Matilda is a movie to rollerblade before you die. But ultimately, it just didn't make the chocolate. As my mother always says, you win some, you jump some. As for me, I just enjoyed the 67 times you both managed to grunt without a second thought. Until next time, keep it delicious, Keen Machine.
That was awesome.
We asked for it, Keen delivered.
We really did. That was so good. Did we ask him to make us a Mad Libs?
We said to everybody, we told them not to send a blank email, but we went, but you can send a Mad Libs email.
That was fucking awesome.
Our bluff has been called. Gab, this is the longest mail segment ever. We must never go this long without doing mail again. Can we get to the verdicts for Christmas
Do you think
Horror
you should
Story?
chop this up and put it into 2 different episodes?
Fuck you, I'm not doing that. I'm
All
putting
right,
the
that's
time
fair.
codes in the description so you can skip this mail segment if you're like, whoa. Although if you're hearing
Yeah.
this, you've already heard way too long a mail segment.
I also feel like nobody's going to listen to the Christmas Horror Story episode because it's such a stupid movie.
You're a stupid movie.
Oh, good one.
Fuck you and your delicious chocolate grunt.
Hyena.
The smocks were stacked against me with this movie, Gab. Should we get to the verdicts?
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Do or do not. There is no try.
The guilty will be punished.
Sentence.
Death.
I think if you are looking for a fun Christmas horror movie, which is something people do enjoy, you know, you look at your Violent Nights, your Santa Sleigh, your what's the one with garbage? Do you know? You're not going to know the movie, are you?
Maybe.
Where the guy goes garbage day and he shoots him. Do you know what I'm talking about? Fuck.
No.
Oh my God, what's the name of it? Because that's another horror movie where he's dressing up as Santa and killing people. Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's what it is. Which, good title.
I Googled garbage day and it's just telling me when I can take my garbage out in New York City.
Type in garbage day movie and I guarantee you it comes up.
You guarantee me, huh?
You'll like the way you look. We guarantee.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. Okay, continue, please. You think it's great.
I think it's great. I think that the Changeling story is very fun. I think the other two do enough to keep you entertained. And I think what you're coming here for is Santa fighting zombie elves, you reindeer fucking snow whore. I feel like we didn't mention any of the other, like, no, we mentioned Christmas cunt. I think he says he's going to stab him in his rosy cheeks ass or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
We didn't mention enough of the great one-liners that zombie elves get to say.
Yeah.
All this to say, if you want to see badass Santa, some William Shatner, and some, you know, decent horror, you should watch Christmas Horror Story because I believe it's a movie to watch before you die. Gab, tear it apart. I can see you've been waiting.
Here's
You've been
the
very
thing,
patient.
Dill.
Go ahead.
I'm not like a big Christmas movie person in general. I'm not a big Christmas season, like world stop turning, we got to drink hot chocolate and sing Christmas carols type of girl. I definitely don't love bad horror movies. I don't really love horror movies, but like the genre of like shitty, you don't really have to pay that much attention. Like, this is like just for the laughs horror genre is not for me. And I don't love when it's like is Christmas themed. It always feels very heavy handed. It feels like there's a lot of like, and then we put a Christmas tree in the background and, made it snow kind of thing. And I don't love the Krampus thing. I just don't personally care about it. I would say 75% of this movie was hot fucking garbage. The one moment that got me was when Storm and Norman turned out to be Santa, and it was like a plot twist I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it was an insult to my intelligence. It was an hour and a half of time that I will never get back. And it didn't make me feel anything other than complete and total regret for my dwindling time on this earth.
Oh my God. A simple no would have sufficed.
So I'm going to say no. But I will probably never think about Christmas horror movies the same way again. And this probably will deter me from ever watching another one.
Oh my God. You fucking
we gotta have
queen
mercy on
over
your soul.
here. You're telling me you and Corey did you and Corey watch this together?
We did. Would you like me to bring him in?
You can if you want to, because I am shocked to hear that like you guys didn't have some fun watching this together. I literally ended last episode going, have fun with it, because
yeah, I know.
I'm not telling you that this was a deeply scary,
hold on,
horrifying film.
Corey, you want to pop in for a sec?
Get his ass over here.
I'm trying. He said something. I don't know what he said. I think he's coming.
What did Sally think?
Sally, I think Sally stared at the wall the whole time.
Are there any pets in this? Sally was very turned off by the little boy who killed cats.
Yeah, who we found out was a cat murderer. She did not care for that one bit. Oh, here he comes.
I like how you seem like the impartial third juror.
Yeah, you're the impartial third juror.
He's not impartial. He's biased. He's sleeping with one of the judges.
Hey, what's up?
Corey, did you have fun with the Christmas Horror Story at least? Like, was she really sitting there watching it with like this dour look on her face? Like, my precious time on this earth is draining away from me now.
I thought that there were just a couple of storylines that I felt like could have not been in it, but I did, for some reason, I keep thinking about that old man that was like, how's your son? The guy that called, that he was like, he let her know that she brought the changeling home.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that guy who was like kicking the bag, who was like, you little devils.
I feel like that was a good character. And but yeah, I think I loved William Shatner. I love the radio thing. It kind of reminded me of The Warriors, how there was like a narrator the whole time that was a radio type person.
A much better movie.
That was a great movie.
Yes.
But
what did you think about Christmas Cunt?
Who was that? Was that the
one of the elves called Santa?
Oh, I mean, I felt like the elves were just kind of gross and elfy. Like I felt.
Will
like
that be your new pet nickname for Cap?
No, but I've heard worse. in the nickname department. But the Christmas cunt thing didn't really bother me. The word cunt doesn't necessarily bother me in general, actually. But
I've got to be in the right mood to use it. I've got to be really angry. Otherwise I'm like, ugh.
I don't know. I feel like in America it bothers us, but like in the UK they just casually use it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think what he's trying to say is this movie sucked.
It was all right. It was all right.
I'm very disappointed to hear this. I thought at least Corey was about to come in here and be like, no, we laughed at some parts and had some fun.
There was no fun.
Oh my God.
William Shatner was great though.
All right. You can give it back to Gab. We'll wrap this bad boy
Thank you
up.
very much. He put pants on to come out here to tell you it was okay.
I just shouted that for the other room if he had that lackluster an opinion.
Well, he's respectful. Okay.
Yes. It is nice
All
that he
right.
did not come out here and hang dong in front of me.
Yeah. Super nice. Yeah. As
Good
mentioned,
dude,
it
good
is early on a Sunday morning.
All right.
All right. Well, I have good news for you, and that is Christmas ain't over. Next week, we are going to be doing a true Christmas classic.
Strap in, you Christmas cunts.
Stop. One that will leave you happy and delighted and laughing your way to the Christmas tree. It is the one and only Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase, etc. It is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. It is undoubtedly my favorite Christmas movie, and I think it is the one that has the most reality in it, because Christmas ain't always what it's cracked up to be. Dylan, you've never seen this.
I have not.
I can't wait. Please watch it when you're not sitting at your desk. Please watch it with open eyes and do not be distracted, and get ready for joy, pure holiday joy.
I will give it a fair shot, and you will
Thank
hear
you.
my thoughts on it. So come back here next week, you reindeer fucking snow horse.
Can't wait.
If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at movieswatchbeforeyoudie@gmail.com or send us a voice message at
Anchor.fm/movies to watch.
Thank you so much for listening. We have a link tree below with all our links. You can find our friends, the Hall of Pods, and all of their great podcasting links also in the link tree down below. And thank you so much for listening.
Thanks.
I'm gonna eat your fucking brains out, you Christmas cunt. Fuck you! I'll break that fucking stop in your rosy cheeked ass, you fucker.